Hi everyone. On this lesson, we're going to cover everything that you need to demonstrate for your new belt. So we'll go over forms, one-steps, breakaways, sparring skills, and everything else that you need to know to qualify for your exam and to do very well on it. The most important thing is the one we're going to start with right now. And I think that you already know that is meeting our black belt challenge and showing that you're becoming a black belt in life. So no matter what belt you're going for, we want to know that you understand what being a black belt really means, what living like a black belt means. And that means being strong, caring, compassionate, and helpful. So let's talk about how you can demonstrate that.
Our black belt challenge this quarter is to focus on gratitude. Gratitude is very powerful because it can change our lives right this minute, and it can also change our lives forever. According to Psychology Today, gratitude is an emotion, it's a mood, but it's also a character trait. And that's what we want to do, is turn it into a healthy habit so that it becomes part of our characters. And we can do that just by paying attention to all the amazing things around us and all the gifts that we're given every single day. Once we pay attention to that, we can diary that, we can journal our gratitude, we can send letters of gratitude or emails of gratitude to other people, calls of gratitude to people who have helped us, and we will find this daily habit becomes part of our character. And people who are thankful generally are also cheerful. So let's get on that path. So just think about how many people it took to get you your breakfast blueberries this morning. You didn't have blueberries this morning for breakfast? Well, your body would be thankful if you did, but they're a wonderful way to stay healthy. So let's have some gratitude and pay attention to all the things that we can be grateful for around us.
So we're going to work on Won-Hyo right now, the fourth traditional form of Taekwondo. And you know most of the moves in this form. The ones that we're not going to work on today are ones that you already know, but they're not necessarily easy to do, and they're not necessarily easy to do in the combinations that they occur in the form. So let me review a couple of the basics in this form, then we'll try the combinations, and then we'll try the form. All right, so the first basic that we need to know is a new ready stance. So this is with closed stance with feet together. This would be my starting direction. And I make a fist with my right hand and a cover with my left hand. So this is called floating fist. So I'll come close where you can see this, floating fist. All right, so it looks like this. And what it represents is power under control, or destruction and construction, or as one thing, gentleness. Gentleness does not mean lack of power or lack of will. It just means a choice to be humane. So that's what this is. All right, so then the first thing that happens is we're forced to block. So let's work on some of those new blocks that we're going to work on. So the first one is square block. So most of you have done this one before. Square block means an outer forearm block and a high block performed simultaneously. So outer forearm block and high block performed simultaneously. So something like this. Square block. So that occurs 4 times in this form because there are 2 recurring combinations of 3 moves that each start with that. Now the move that comes right after that is a little challenging, and I'll show you when we get to combinations how we go from one to the other. But the actual move by itself is in a back stance, reaching out with your front hand, reaching back with your back hand, and then crossing like this. So this is called upset knife hand. It means upside down, palm up knife hand. And you're grabbing and pulling something in like this, touching the hammer fist edge of your hand into your shoulder. So this. All right? And so you're trying to make all of that hit, and foot landing all at the same time. Okay, so crossing, upset knife hand. Okay, this is in back stance. All right, the next one is just a punch, but it's a punch to the side, and it's in a different stance, so we'll show you. So again, it's going to be the transitions that are difficult. Okay, so punching to the side like this, you still need to do a full reach and punch to the side. Full reach, punch to the side. So I'll show you over here. So still trying to time the elbow strike behind you, the punch in front of you, and the foot landing down into its new stance. All right, so those are some of the new ones. Another new one is a scooping block. So scooping block, and in the form it recurs in the reverse, so opposite hand and foot, so I'll show you that. So I have my left foot in the front. I'm going to reach my left hand up like this and my right hand down low and scoop and rotate my upper body. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm doing the biggest motion I can, and I'm also rotating my upper body through this. So I'll try to show you from the side. Right here. Opposite hand and foot. Okay? So this is in front stance in this form, but it could be different in different forms. So scooping block. Big, big motion and rotating your upper body as far around as you can to assist the block. All right, other ones you've worked on before. Number one, side kick. So that means kick up, and it occurs in yoga as well, where you're in a closed stance with your feet together at 90 degrees to the target area. Can't side kick from here. So what you need to do is pick up and rotate. So rotate both heels towards the target. Okay, because we're going to do a side thrust kick. So I'm not doing a flicking kick or a checking kick or a scooping kick. We're doing a stomping side kick. So we need to rotate here and kick out and back. Okay, so from this closed stance, rotate, kick out and back. Okay, so side kick. And then the most difficult one is number two, side kick. We've all worked on that before, but it's maybe the most difficult kick in Taekwondo is pick up and side kick with your back leg. Very hard to make go out and back in a straight line. Okay, so number two, side kick. So let's see which ones we've covered. So square block, crossing knife hand, side punch, scooping block, number one side kick, number two side kick, and let's talk about one stance. And that is a longer, let me see if I can get this closer to my feet so you can see better. This one is a lengthened back stance. So normally back stances are pretty short with most of our weight on our back leg. And then on this punch, what we're going to do is make it longer, about a foot longer. So now our weight is definitely going to transition off our back foot and come more down the middle. But it's a lengthened stance, right? So this way, so back stance, most of my weight over my back leg, and then step out into a longer back stance. Still 90 degrees, still creating this L-shaped fencing stance with your body pointing the same direction as the back foot, but your attention and your focus and your technique going in the direction of the front foot, like in fencing. So this is a lengthened or extended L stance, back stance, and that's the other new technique we need to work on. So work on this list of basics: floating fist, long back stance, number two side kick, number one side kick, the scooping block. Remember to be able to do it in a reverse, opposite hand and foot, side punch, a big fold first, just like every other punch, do a full chamber, and then square block, and some of the others you already know, spear finger, things like that, right? Crossing knife hand is a new one. Crossing is a new one. So practice these, and I'll come back with combinations for you on how these occur in Won-Hyo form. All right, so for Won-Hyo, I'm going to show you two 3-move combinations. One occurs 4 times and one occurs twice. So again, it's the transitions and the folding and the chambering that make all the difference in these techniques. So let's start out with the one that comes from the opening. So remember, we talked about this floating fist as our ready stance. It's do is start out with a square block, fisted square block. Now, sometimes we have one hand open, sometimes we have two hands open. In this one, it's two fists. All right, so just like out of form block and high block, so the knuckles need to be at eye level, 90 degrees here, 45 degrees here, and out in front of your eyes. And this one high enough to where it's protecting your head, and also far enough in front of your head where you're not going to get hit with it. Okay, so we want a little bit of a snow off the roof action here. Okay, so square block in back stance, so most of our weight on our back leg here, most of our weight on our back leg. Then reach out with the front hand and reach back with this hand so you can do the biggest chamber you can. Stay in the same back stance and chop across your body. Chop across your body. Now, this next one we really need to follow for. This hand is going to punch. It can't punch from here, so well, it could that way, but not the direction we want to go. Reach out with this hand, hold this hand all the way back to your waist, and then take a little bit longer back stance and try to time it. Elbow strike, punch, and landing all time together. All right, so let's try that on the other side of our body. So square block, reach out and chop, and then reach and punch. All right, so no rush. Make sure that you're doing technique strong and focused, but we're also taking the time to do full chamber here, full chamber here. Okay? So that's one combination. Square block, crossing knife hand, lunge punch with the long back stance. Long back stance. So that's one combination. And that occurs the opening 6 moves of the form, as well as the top 6 moves of the form when we're out as far as we're going to go. The next 3 are very interesting too. Again, starting from a closed stance, but that's not a big deal because we're going to step straight out with our left foot into front stance and big scooping block like we worked on the basics, and then front kick and reverse punch. Stay right here, do the other side of your body. This is still making reverse, left arm block, right foot forward, then front kick and reach, reverse punch. Okay? You can reach out before the kick or after the kick, but just be consistent on both sides so that we can see that you are choosing that. Okay, so one more time. Step out with the left, big fold, rotate the body. Rotate the upper body as tightly as you can. Front kick and reverse punch to the body. Okay, scooping block, front kick, reverse punch to the body. All right, so those 2 combinations, square, crossing chop, lunge punch, and scooping block, front kick, reverse punch. So those 2 combinations are important. They take a lot of this form, and also they're kind of the signature moves of this form. The rest of them, things like double knife hand, the lateral forearm block, side kicks, you've done lots of times before, but this is really a new combination for the form Won-Hyo. Won-Hyo Hyung. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. So a couple of days ago, we worked on creating our own sparring combinations. And so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to do that and get ready for some testing sparring combinations that we think will be good for this. So let me talk to you about how many combinations do you have and how many combinations do you need? Well, it's always best to do ones that you know really, really well. So we'll only do a couple today, but I want to give you a sense of how many you really have. This was an early lesson that Grandmaster Hawkins taught us when we were getting ready for tournaments, especially the national tournament circuit. So if you have 3 moves and you do a 3-move combination and you don't repeat any of those techniques during the 3-move combination, that's 3 choices you have on the first one, 2 on the second one, and 1 on the third one. That is 6 combinations. So if you do repeat them, then of course you have 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. What about if you have 4? So 1, 2, 3, 4. What if you have 4 techniques? Well, that would be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which would be 24 combinations. That's a lot, right? Just from 4 techniques. And if you did repeat them, you'd have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which I think is 256. That's a lot of combinations. Here's the thing though, some of those you don't want to use. So let's go back to talk about those basics. Most of the time, whether you're aggressing or defending, you want to use front hand or front foot to break the distance or to make the distance. So let's just start out with a couple of those. So my dog thinks I might have got the math wrong, so he's trying to correct me. I hope I got it right. Anyway, there you go. Maybe he'll help us with some new combinations. All right, so let's try this. We're going to move forward and we're going to jab. Remember, that represents front hand, 2 and 3. So I think we did this one the other day. So moving forward, leaving this hand right where it is. Reverse, look where my other hand went back to protect myself because I'm turning towards the person, and then knee up quickly to defend that hole. When I'm facing this way, there's a big hole here. I want to get that knee up quickly to protect myself from counterattack. Okay, so move forward, go, go. All right, we can do exactly the same thing going backwards. So 1, oh yeah, I didn't add that, did I? So if you're going forward, backward, left, or right, whether you're angling or circling, I guess that's 4 times each of those numbers that I just gave you. So that makes even bigger numbers. Okay. So, and you could be changing directions during the combination too, right? Wow, now the number's getting astronomical. Anyway, here we go. We're going to slide away from the person. So slide and stick. So make distance and stick. Hopefully, if we stuck in strongly, we've got him frozen, and then we can come with our back leg again. If not, jab, cross, and he's still advancing, change his mind about that, okay? So, 3 moves, used a couple of different ways, right? So let's try that again. So, fade away, punch, he's not giving us space, lead leg. Fade away, punch, back leg front kick, all right? So there's a couple of ways to use one combination. So, practice this one a lot of times. Jab, make the distance, cross, and front kick. 1, 2, 3, and try fading. 1, 2, 3. Other side, fade. 1, 2, 3. So please notice when we're kicking, both hands are up and elbows are in. Elbows are in. All right? So now you can add your favorite kick to that. We looked at the other day, jab, cross, inward axe. We looked at jab, cross, outward axe. We looked at jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, side kick. So that takes us up to 4. Jab, cross, jab, side kick. And again, those can be used aggressing or defending, depending on how our partner is reacting. So choose 1 or 2 and practice them 1 million times. And when I see you on testing, I'll be able to notice that you use your front hand for defense, your front hand for offense, your front foot for defense, your front foot for offense, and I'll be really happy that you're staying covered and protected all the time that you're throwing other techniques, okay? So good luck with that, practice hard, and I'll look forward to watching you do that soon.
How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.